This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The University of Miami could become more involved in new economic initiatives and other developments taking place in the Bahamas.
Bahamian officials and teams from the university met in marathon sessions in Florida yesterday regarding the institution's assistance in training and matters of commerce in the Bahamas.
Prime Minister Perry Christie, who was speaking at the official launch of Kiki Baracus & Co. Financial and Consulting Services, said the university's involvement with the Bahamas also comes at a critical time when the country is launching the new Agricultural and Marine Institute in Andros.
In each wing of it, agriculture and marine sciences will be a new paradigm, a commercial corporate entity that will engage in commerce with a view to breaking through barriers like, for example, the millions of dollars we spend on environmental impact assessments with foreign companies, using some of that to happen here, determining the assets we have in our waters. And as we spoke to them, and there being a really mega university when it comes to marine sciences, we left there with a complete understanding that they saw it as a privilege to be involved in the Bahamas, and that there is a lot to look forward to in terms of commerce and positive impacts on the economy.
Regarding the economic climate, the Prime Minister noted that the time is ripe for people looking for new energy to invest in the local economy.
And other developments are taking place here and throughout the Bahamas that you will see adding up to the reality, a new reality, that the economy has turned the corner and that your firm and other firms will be the beneficiary of what is now happening. And that is good news for the Bahamas. And I think what our real challenge in the country now is being able to likewise dedicate ourselves to minimizing the impact and fear of crime. And that is so critical to our future that we must continue to work on it so that we are able to move about our country with the degree of freedom and fearlessness, and others who come in and spend their money to do the same thing.
Acting Police Commissioner Quinn McCartney says the 12-hour shift for police officers is back in effect. He told ZNS News this evening that adjustments to work rotations have taken effect in some areas of the force, though he didn't reveal in which areas or what the shift will mean for on-duty numbers. For security reasons, Mr. McCartney says the shift was resumed in response to a spate of violent crimes in the last several days. When asked about the length of the work week for officers on the shift and the toll the shift may take on officers, Mr. McCartney said he didn't have specifics on the length of the shifts, but that senior officers were being advised to pay close attention to the number of hours officers were assigned to work and to ensure that they got sufficient rest. Court action against the police force is pending as the Police Staff Association fights those 12-hour shifts, arguing that officers should be compensated for any work time exceeding 40 hours a week. 38-year-old Tamika Dean appeared in the South Street Magistrates Court today accused of stealing more than $169,000 from her former employer. Court papers allege that between February of 2012 and September of last year, Dean, who was an office manager at a Palmdale-based company, altered the payroll listing to show that she and another person were entitled to receive money ranging from $500 to more than $5,000. Dean pleaded not guilty to 59 counts of stealing by reason of employment and 59 counts of fabrication of accounts. She was granted $30,000 bail with 2 sureties. The case has been adjourned to May 28th for trial. Police have wasted no time in charging 5 people in connection with that drug bust in Seabreeze on Monday. They are 51-year-old Peter Taylor, 46-year-old Andrew Adderley, 25-year-old Jamaican national Onique James, and brothers 45-year-old William and 52-year-old Leonard Curling. Following a joint operation between the Drug Enforcement Unit and the Defense Force, officers went to the Seabreeze Canal where they discovered suspected marijuana being taken off a boat around 4 o'clock in the morning. Officers intercepted the transfer and the drugs were confiscated. The marijuana has an estimated street value of $681,000. In court, 4 of the defendants pleaded not guilty to 4 drug-related charges, but Peter Taylor admitted that the drugs were his, and he is due for sentencing on Wednesday. The other defendants were remanded to prison until that time. The appellate court has adjourned a matter involving convicted drug smuggler Dwight Major and his wife Keva. The matter has been outstanding since 2009. The couple is appealing a decision from the lower court regarding claims they were treated inhumanely while incarcerated at the Fox Hill prison, and they're also seeking damages. They're also hoping to resolve another outstanding matter regarding the seizure of more than $850,000 seized from Keva Major. You may recall that Dwight Major was convicted on drug charges in the magistrate's court in 2003 and sentenced to 4.5 years later, that is, after losing his appeal at the Privy Council. But he was extradited to the U.S. on drug charges a short time later, convicted and sent to prison. Meantime, the Court of Appeal adjourned the hearing to May 28th. A new proposal is being presented to the government for the Jolter Keys, just miles off the island of Andros, to be made into a national park under the Bahamas National Trust in partnership with the Audubon Group. Executives of the Audubon Group presented their case to Environment Minister Ken Dorset this morning at the British Colonial Hilton. They urged the minister to ensure that the Keys are protected while spurring economic growth. Audubon is an international organization comprised of thousands of birders who travel to various countries to observe and enjoy bird and wildlife and to conserve the sites. CEO of the National Audubon Society, David Yarnold, said their message is a simple one, and where birds thrive, people will prosper. He noted that the Jolter Keys are home to hundreds of birds, including the piping plovers, an endangered species. The protection of the Keys, he says, will ensure their future. Additionally, the Keys can also serve as a niche tourist destination.
59 million people tell the Fish and Wildlife Service in the U.S. that they like birding. It is the second largest number behind only gardening in the United States. That is a massive audience, and we're going to help bring them to you. So we're going to focus our efforts along with BNT on the communities of Central Andros and Inagua. We're going to help develop the economic ecosystems that we know are necessary to do this. And the real beauty of this proposal is that this is low-impact tourism. These are the tourists who are really hardy, who don't need heavy ecosystem. They want to be out in places that are wild. They don't want big hotels built out on these pristine beaches.
Though no decision on the Keys has been made as yet, Minister for the Environment Kenwa Dorset says the objectives are similar to that of the government.
We need to understand that we can create green jobs and blue jobs while doing the right thing for the protection of our environment and preserving our biodiversity. And so to the Audubon Society and the BNT, I thank you for this proposal, because I believe that the future of the tourism sector in the Bahamas will require a significant focus on ecotourism so that we can ensure that our local settlements do not become overdeveloped.
While it is just 2 years old, the Youth Empowerment Program is already having a transformative effect on the lives of its student participants. The skills development program that teaches job readiness, financial literacy, conflict resolution, and care mentorship is open to students in 9th to 12th grade. The organization will celebrate Youth Empowerment Month throughout March with a number of activities that will climax with a student summit at St. John's College. Students in the program shared how they have grown.
When I joined, it actually matured me, and all of the interactions I did with all of different districts, the intelligent mentors that gave me knowledge and all of that, it kind of matured me and trained and prepared me for what I am today.
I came from a hard background, and the Youth Empowerment Program brought me from that background to what I am now. And I think that this program is such an empowering and motivating program because it brings youth from what they were to what they are today.
Because I have entered the YP program, I can honestly say that my speech has developed, the way I speak to people has developed, and that's fun for me.
Today, the program has nearly 1,200 participants, up from 600 last year. With a retention rate of 98% and increasing interest from students, officials say it will expand to the Family Islands by September. The program is endorsed by the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture and has all its mentors vetted by the Royal Bahamas Police Force. The after-school program also gives students access to scholarship opportunities.
We encourage corporate Bahamas and the government to take a closer look at the Youth Empowerment Program in an effort to engage more young people to participate in a wholesome program that our young people want to actively participate in, such as YEP.
To have YEP on board as a new program seeking to shape and mold sound citizens for the future, I think the Bahamas is in good stead.
R.M. Bailey Senior High School, in conjunction with the Bahamas National Pride Association, hosted a tree planting ceremony this morning on the school's ground. The ceremony commemorated R.M. Bailey's recent success in the Clean Campus program hosted by the BNPA. The Orchid program, as it is referred to, seeks to plant 10 to 20 trees at a time with the goal of revitalizing our native tree population. Director of the BNPA, Joanne Johnson, explains the importance of these tree planting ceremonies to the nation as a whole.
There is a saying, the Bahamas has a new destination. Well, we want to create a newer and a cleaner destination in our country, and we will start with the planting in our schools. And we want our students to understand this is yours, this is for the generations to come. So we are honored to start with R.M. Bailey High School.
I have a formula, and it's called E plus D equals L. That's the environment plus discipline equals learning. I always say if you treat kids like pigs, they would act like hogs. And my environment is so important to me. It must be clean. It must be conducive to learning. And so this is just a part of what we expect here.
Director of Education Lionel Sands appealing to students who are being bullied to report the matter to their parents, a teacher, or any responsible adult. Mr. Sands stated if bullying was a factor in the death of the late Gilbert Bain Jr., a student of the S.C. McPherson Junior School, as alleged, the ministry does not want to see other students respond with violence to protect themselves. The director indicated that the Safe School Manual, which is available on all school campuses, details how school officials and students should handle incidents of bullying. He further noted that workshops are regularly held for guidance counselors to detect or handle bullying incidents. Still to come in the Bahamas tonight, highlights from Night League basketball. Check it out coming up in ZNS Total Sports.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.